Hello, NIME. Phew, yeah. I'll take a photo from the thing. I'm supposed to wait for my co-chair, Pia. She's gone somewhere to do something important, I'm sure, and said, obviously start without me. So I'm going to have to start as if it's my co-chair is not here, which is a bit incorrect because it was really such a joint effort this year. I get to have my special beginning lighting that we discovered this week. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here at NIME 2025. We've got people watching online, particularly the people from the NIME board, and we get to have a great single session just going over or patting ourselves on the back on a few things. Here's Pia. Yay, Pia's here. We get to pat ourselves on the back, and we will get at the end, hopefully, as much time as possible to have a discussion around the questions, the provocative questions that Claire Cooper challenged us with in the keynote on Wednesday. So I just wanted to put some data on the screen about what we did at this year's NIME. Our total attendance by registration was 199 attendees. There may not have been 199 people in any particular room at any one time. That's because we had a very significant remote attendance, 50 remote attendees and 149-ish people in person. Some people who were remote showed up. Some people who were supposed to be coming in person couldn't for various reasons, including political reasons, which is really sad and something to dwell on, I think, for a moment. By type, our registrations were 58 non-student paid registrations. Thank you so much for those non-students who paid the full registration rate. 106 student registrations. Then there were 14 committee members who have a complimentary registration in recognition of the enormous amount of work that goes into this conference throughout the year. 8 guests and 13 volunteers. And I just wanted to say something, maybe my one grandstanding is that I am really committed to the remote thing at NIME. It is something I want to embrace and keep with us. One remote could potentially save us 3,000 kilograms of CO2 emissions based on an airfare between London and Sydney. That's more than a car uses in a year. So by saving the 50 people in remote is potentially 150,000 kilograms of CO2 saved. So if we're thinking about the costs of NIME, some of the costs we pay from our wallet and some our children might pay. So we think about how we can save many different costs in many different ways. Submissions and acceptances. Our paper track had 195 submissions, 96 accepted, that's a 49% rate. The music track had 104 submissions with 44 accepted, 42% acceptance rate. Workshop track was 12 submissions with 9 accepted, 75%. Total submissions for all tracks was 311. Sometimes in past NIMEs we've had separate tracks for different kinds of papers, and sometimes something is rejected from being a long paper, but then accepted in another track. So this year we combined all the tracks together, combined with maybe a little bit lower overall submissions led to a higher acceptance rate than is normal, but I think that it's better to do the accounting honestly and just show what the overall acceptances were from all of the paper proceedings, because all types of papers, whether they show up as a poster or an oral presentation, ultimately end up in the paper proceedings and are not distinguishable later. So those are the honest numbers, and I think that it's something to consider, the level of inclusion that we go through the scientific program at NIME. I want to say thanks to everyone who was a committee member at NIME. I mentioned before that it is an enormous amount of work. It's work that chases you throughout the year, particularly for the track chairs who had to deal with the calls, deal with the submissions, deal with the templates, deal with the policies, deal with the timeline. Then the reviews come in, or then the submissions come in and some of them are wrong, and you have to talk to the authors and get them to do something. Then the reviews come in and some of those are wrong, you have to talk to the reviewers and get them to do something. Then you have to make decisions. Then there's more talking with authors, and it just goes on and on and on. I'm really pleased that we had wonderful track chairs for the paper poster tracks. That was Florent Patel, Doa Kavdia and Yichen Wang. The music chairs, Sophie Rose, Nicole Carroll and Jos Mulder. And the workshop chairs as well, Minsik Choi and Alan Dilsar. We added a few chairs this year at NIME, and I hope that this is a tradition we continue to keep. We have an accessibility chair. That was Alexander Hunter, who worked hard before the conference to do an accessibility audit with us to make sure we had an understanding of some of the issues that could come up during a conference. We have our hybrid chair, Albert, who, as you know, Thank you, actually. Yeah. Albert has been working incredibly hard, both before the conference to make sure the hybrid stuff worked and during this week. So a wonderful job. We had a proceedings chair, Sam Trolland, who ensured that the proceedings actually were released before the conference. Thank you, Sam. First time ever that happened. We had a chair for our student volunteers, or as we are calling them, ambassadors locally. That was Sandy Ma, thank you. And a social media chair, Patrick Hartono, who was especially helpful early in the conference to help get the call out. So this was our team of 14 committee members, and I'm really proud and honoured of the work that they put into this NIME 2025. I just want to double thank a few of them, and that's particularly the members of the committee who are PhD students. So NIME is part of my job. I'm an academic. I have a service load, nominally. Maybe I could do with a workload model, but a service load. And so part of the work I do at NIME, I'm paid to do. The PhD students who contributed are not paid to do it. And I particularly wanted to thank Sam, Proceedings Chair from Monash, and then my own 4 PhD students. I'm incredibly proud and honoured that you put in so much work and chose to go on this journey with me. Albert, Hybrid Chair, Minsik, who is the workshop chair, working really hard on Tuesday, Sandy, who has worked really hard with the volunteers, and particularly Chen. I think you're well known in this community now. Thank you so much. I'll just note the sponsors of this year's NIME. So we are hosted here at the Australian National University. The ANU was the kind of financial overseer of this NIME. We are running the venues, we did the registrations, we own the risk and maybe the reward if there's any profit. So they're the main sponsor and owner of the conference this year. We have one session which is sponsored by Music ACT. Music ACT is the peak body for live music here in Canberra. And the director of Music ACT, I've known them for years, and we met by chance, and she said, what if we do a concert for NIME? And I said, yes. So that's what we're going to see tonight. The closing concert is Music ACT's contribution to this process. And we have one other prize sponsor, which is Bella. So thank you, Andrew, for contributing that. Thanks, all sponsors. I'm going to have a little word from the NIME board, and maybe we could get one board member to join me for a slide in a second. Come up here, one. If we just speak here, we can... maybe you could introduce the board so I get a break.
All right. Well, yeah. Hi, everyone. So I'm part of the NIME board as well. The president is Fabio Moriale. Andrew, who's here as well, is chair of continuity. I'm the chair of committees. And we also have 2 members at large, which are Courtney Reed and Isabella Corinta. So we met throughout the year as well, and we keep meeting many times during the year. I also wanted to highlight the committees that we have at NIME as well. So we have 4 actually 3 committees and 1 network, which is the LATAM NIME network. And we also have WeNIME, which is like a Women in NIME initiative, which is trying to become a sort of committee as well. So in terms of getting to know people in the committee, I just wanted to highlight the leads as well. You can reach out to them if you want to join these initiatives. You can also talk to me at the end of the conference as well if you want to join any of these committees. And also I wanted to invite you if you have any other ideas for committees as well or officer positions as well. Definitely come talk to us. I think we're always trying to, get people to, do activities, have the initiative to do things for NIME. NIME is a thing that, it's not just a conference, it's all year round. There's things happening in between NIMEs all the time. So and definitely, if you want to join a committee, definitely reach out. It's a very fun thing to do. You get to know a lot of people, you get to do interesting things for NIME. And so, definitely recommend it.
Thanks so much, Juan. I just mentioned that the NIME board is an elected body. We have the members at large and the president and the committee roles are elected. The next and previous general chair of NIME, or one of the general chairs, gets a kind of ex officio role, I guess, another voting seat. But there are elections for two roles coming up in April 2026. So I think the roles expire in April 26, so we'll do elections in advance of that. The NIME board is still a relatively new idea. I think we started in 23. Is that right? I think it was 2023. Yes. So previously there was a steering committee, but we now have an elected board. NIME is an informal collective. We don't have a legal organisation or a bank account, but the board provides some continuity and helps to develop the community and manage our procedural issues, such like looking after the proceedings over a long-term period. So I really hope that that folks out there will think, "Ooh, I could be on the board," because in fact, everybody here who's been to NIME and contributed is eligible to join the board and nominate for the election. So I hope that folks may feel comfortable contributing in that way, because we're looking for more diversity always, geographic diversity, gender diversity, diversity on all fronts within our roles. So thank you so much, and I really hope that you self-nominate. We're now going to go to the prize section. Pierre, do you think you could help me announce the prizes?
Absolutely.
Traditionally, we have three categories for prizes. We have Best Paper, we have Best Music, and we have the Pamela Z Award for, I say Pamela Z, we should say Pamela Z as is the official title, the Pamela Z Award for Innovation, Diversity and Inclusion. And in fact, for all of these categories, I think we have a winner and two highly commended. We've added some highly commendeds to Pamela Z.
Can we get a drum roll?
Yeah, well, but I think there's two more slides before we actually see some outcomes.
I'm hearing the drum roll.
Yeah. So this is the prizes this year. There's prizes generously supplied from Bella. Thank you, Andrew. The way it's going to work is that the category winners will get the special Bella gem. What is it? You just tell us what it is.
It's the newest Bella.
It's the newest Bella.
Yeah. And then compute boards for audio and sensors. Yeah.
And you probably saw them on display during the poster sessions. Yeah.
And there's like the basic model and the pro model, right?
Yeah. The little one and the big one.
Yeah.
So the overall winners get the big one, and the highly commended get the also very desirable little one.
Okay. So Best Paper.
Yes.
The winner is, and we retain the paper numbers, Looping Slowly, Diffraction Through the Lens of Nostalgia. Let's give it a round of applause. And who has the winner? If they're here, would they like to come up and... Congratulations. Highly commended was paper 137, the imperfect copy role-playing reenactments of historical electronic sound instruments, and 78 towards neurodiverse sense-making, pluralizing agency in wearable music and participatory workshopping. Best Music. The winner is 178, Carpet Entanglement by Joseph Burgess. I think Joseph, I had seen him on. And the highly commended is 292, Playing the Sound Image, and 190, Orbis. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm not going to read all of the alternates because it will take all day. Next, we have the Pamela Z Award for Innovation, Diversity and Inclusion, the winner being number 68, Between Garment and Prosthesis, the design of an e-textile musical interface. Congratulations. And highly commended is 43 State Change and 253 the Sound Tree Project, developing personal and collective expression with accessible digital musical instruments. Yay! Yes, they did. I believe so. So what's left tonight is obviously the closing party, which we have pictured here, Shadows Nightclub. But before that, the installation viewing will be open again from 5 till 7, so right after this plenary. And the artists are right now opening all of that work back up again. So if you didn't get a chance to, say, for instance, particularly for those works who had that had long lines, and then also the ones that had lots of people talking inside of them, drinking and talking in the sound installations, which is totally fine. But maybe there'll be less of that today. And then concert 6, which is in the big band room. So if we remember, Peter Carmel building is right next to the School of Music from 7 till 8:30. And yes, the closing concert, which we're all very excited about, from 9 till midnight. And you can register for the concert at that link and use the code to get in. Oh yeah. Okay, and now for next year. I believe we had a false start with that.
Right. Really excited about this. So, as some of you might have heard, NIME is coming to London next year. Or shall we say NIME is coming back to London, because NIME in 2014 was hosted at Goldsmiths, and we're incredibly excited to bring it back under the auspices of the Augmented Instruments Lab. So the chairs for next year will, of course, be me, and then Courtney Reed, who is based at Loughborough University, London, in the East End of London. And our theme next year, the precise wording to be determined, but it's going to be something around community. Next year, we're really interested in developing the idea of NIME being out in the community, bringing communities, plural, into NIME. So we are ourselves a community, potentially a community of communities, to use the term from a paper a few years back, but to think about how NIME practices and other musical practices can influence one another. So stay tuned. See if what's happened. There we are. So London, there you go, London, UK. I put that there because I think if we started with this, it just seems a little bit too insular. Like, yeah, of course everybody knows exactly where this bit of London or that is. Anyway, here's our venues. The day program is going to be held at Loughborough University, London, in a place called Here East, on the former Olympic Park in Stratford, in the East End of London. And our concerts are going to be at a fabulous space called Rich Mix, which is located in Shoreditch in central London. And let's see here. What's happened now? Okay, so here we are. This is Loughborough University, London, the Queen Elizabeth Park, where the Olympics were held in 2012, now located in this space here. Lots of fabulous venues there, lecture theaters, classrooms, foyer areas for workshops, for receptions. So this will be where we are during the days, and then we will bring ourselves over to Rich Mix here near Shoreditch train station, where they have a number of very nice concert venues. There's actually 2 different concert halls, so we'll have one for the early evening, one for a late evening concert, the studio and the stage, each of which should seat between maybe 100 and 200 people, more if we do standing room only. And we also have some of our NIME track shares decided, more still to come. So papers next year will be Benedict Gaster, Anna Chambeau and Joao Trachtenberg will be doing the paper program. Music will be Leah Mice and Tara Pattenton. And then this is a small sampling of what will be a larger team of chairs. Accessibility, we have Hugh Ainsley and Matt Dalglish, Sofia Yuditskaya for installations, posters and demos, Paul Strohmeyer, workshops, Pete Bennett. maybe you. We're having conversations, and there's a team still to build out. So I look forward to talking about that afterwards. So, and most importantly, looking forward to seeing you either in London or online, of course. It will be hybrid, as all NIMEs have been, and I hope as all NIMEs shall continue to be. And thanks very much.
I'm feeling lighter already. Free. Now we get to the talking part. We can do lecture mode. Bright lights.
I'm particularly excited about the theme for NIME 2026 and how it connects with some of the discussion that we were having with Claire in the keynote. And I think there's a great opportunity here to return to the open questions that she gave us to marinate on from, was it Wednesday? It was Wednesday, from Wednesday. And I think there's a lot of opportunities here for us to discuss thinking forward about what we might plan to do with the future of NIME, as a community.
Who wants to kick it off?
Any thoughts? Maybe a good place to start is answering one of these questions, like, what shall we gleefully abandon? Could be a fun thing to begin with. Actually, I'd go with that last, but is there any?
Ready?
Oh, good catch.
Sound on. Albert, sound on. Thank you. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, I have a abandonment proposal. No more quick times at concerts. No more. They're not live. I think it would be really awesome to have a screening room, like film screenings, listening room. But yeah, this is a conference where we're all so excited to see how people use their tools, and the quick times are often, we don't know what's going on, the animation, motion graphics, etc. And I feel like maybe that's a new category.
Yeah, that's a really good, I'm going to just add, another thing we can do with this discussion also is to, if you haven't already, to put these thoughts in the Miro as well, because it's such a great place to capture this and continue to iterate with this conversation even as the proceedings end today.
So I'm hearing this as an answer to two questions, actually. So having in the concepts, maybe that's abandoning something, but launching a fixed media track or a fixed media category for media submissions. My thoughts, being in the CMT, is seeing quite a large number of music submissions that are kind of in the form of fixed media, and then that also being a failover when someone is too scared to leave the USA because they're afraid of getting stopped at the border on the way back in. So there's a reasonable, we can see a reason between that. We didn't have a screening room, but it's really a possible way to manage that and manage the expectations better.
Yeah, and the PA system is really nice for the screenings, like having the good audio and a big projection, nice resolution. So it's still nice to have them, but screening.
Any other thoughts? Who else?
What other things?
Does someone want to launch something, or does someone want to lovingly maintain something?
Yeah.
We've got one back there. You got to pass it back first.
Is it Ross? Yeah.
Yeah, Ross bent you up. Could you pass it back to Ross, please? Eyes up.
Two-stage throw. A two-stage throw.
Short throw.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not something that I saw here, but something that I saw last year was the late breaking and kind of half-finished track. And, there were people at the posters just showing what they were up to. And I thought that was really cool because it sort of includes more people.
Yeah, I think that would be maybe something good for the community. Concept.
Yeah, so I've been pretty fortunate to be part of NIME since 2017, and what's really I've really loved and I like to lovingly maintain is how many projects, be they pieces or posters or papers, keep breaking out of the mold, like over NIME. Like what NIME is and what research is happening in the NIME field has really grown, to include a lot of the stuff that was, nominated and won awards this time. So I would say to lovingly maintain that spirit of, if you don't think it might fit into the NIME, it probably does. Keep trying new stuff and pushing new things, and I think that's I'd like to see moving forward with each new one.
I love how that sort of riffs off of Sally's paper from this morning about taking risks and possibly failing, but celebrating failures as success.
I think you had your hand up before, Sally Jane. You've got an idea, Steph. Yes, go for it.
Thank you. I'm excited about the theme being community and perhaps thinking about how this community can turn to a wider community and having the doors open for the wider community to possibly come in, or that we go out there and connect. Just having some. Last year there was a couple of performances which were sort of part of a festival, and that sort of heightened the performance. It was really lovely to see some of the music students last night wandering around. So yeah, it was really good to see connection with the wider community.
Yeah, I like to imagine, not sure how, that there'd be a space for generous, critical discussion of the artistic and performance type projects, because we get to see some wonderful work, and some of it we witness also across papers, but I'm wondering if there's a way that there could be a session where we could actually collectively think through what these different performance forms represent and mean. And maybe with the wider community initiative, this would be a really good possibility for saying, okay, how can the communicability of our performance work be shouted from the rooftops? I mean, Maggie, you had a really beautiful political statement at the end of your presentation this morning. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that. Come on.
My statement was about opening up more space for critiques of previous times, especially in more like humanities-based research. Not taking artists' word for granted of what they're saying and I'm is doing. We can analyze it by ourselves as well. And I actually also have a formatting proposal for the conversation. I was thinking maybe we could break up into small groups of 5 to 10 people that you might not have talked to before and discuss these 3 questions and then kind of report back. Just an idea.
So would that be within this plenary, or potentially say these questions could form committees potentially, or working groups? Yeah,
I was thinking right now.
Okay, so right now, we could have 5 minutes to discuss. Shall we have 5 minutes to discuss?
Well, I think Andrew has one more question.
Yeah,
then we'll do
he's
5
got a
minutes
burning
to discuss.
question. Yeah.
You can come and use yours through the mic. You'll speak from there.
Yes, exactly. A possible proposal for one such committee is this issue of community that Steph just brought up now. I think one of the things that we're grappling with for next year is, okay, if we want to have a theme like that, what does that mean in practice? Especially because we do have an issue where in order to make a conference actually run, people need to pay for the registration, because there isn't just a magic pot of money that pays for the venues and the catering and all of that kind of stuff. That naturally is exclusionary. there's also the kind of fairness in terms of the people who come in are people who've passed a certain peer review process, and not just anybody that we feel like would be really fun to have join us as part of the main program. So if we want to simultaneously serve the needs of an academic conference and also reach out to a wider community, what does that look like in principle? One possibility would be the idea of something like an unconference, which has happened some years over the NIME's history and not others, which is maybe something that's kind of adjunct to the conference, but maybe not entirely part of it. So I might propose, if anyone was interested in discussing this community theme, I would be really interested to get. It doesn't quite fit those questions, but it seems like it's a thing that we could boldly launch it. I don't know.
It could be boldly launched. Should we do a
5
breakout?
minutes.
We'll put a big timer on.
Find somebody you haven't spoken to. Maybe they're sitting right next to you. Maybe you have to get up and move. I'm setting a timer. It's 4:40 now. We will come back to you at 4:45. We're 2 minutes over 4:40. It's 4:47. So technically, this is the time to reconvene.
Yell into the microphone.
Would anyone like to share what they've discussed? What they've been talking to each other about? Albert, am I allowed to share Albert had a great suggestion about there possibly being a hybrid committee that could do some of this maintenance, things that we could lovingly maintain, but also perhaps innovate as well, because there's, what, if I may say so, what Albert was expressing, and I think probably we can relate to this in lots of ways, is the need for continuity across all of the iterations of NIME, and so some of that work would be good to continue in between. Does anyone want to share anything else?
Is anyone hanging around? No.
Oh, the sound.
Confused. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to plug my ears. So signal me if I'm getting off track, but it seems to me we started discussing sort of what we hope to get from a NIME presentation of the thing, be it music or paper, and we had ideas come up like, do we want the presenter to teach us something? And that seemed not quite right. We had the idea come up of trying to communicate something or offer something, offer for collaboration or something to take away, hooks to get stuck on. And we had landed on the idea of discussion as the thing to take away from these presentations, and sort of the underlying purpose of the conference is to foster discussion on some level, and perhaps that's something that we can lovingly maintain.
How?
We didn't make it as far as that, so.
We need more time.
More time for discussion.
More discussion.
Yeah, so like more time for instance, in a paper session, there would be more time for Q&A. Is that what you mean?
No, sorry, it's just that we were going on a very nice, productive discussion, and then the time was up.
Yeah.
So we kind of thought about problems and started thinking about solutions and started investigating a little bit, and then the time was up. So we're probably going to have marvelous discussion about issues.
Yeah.
But then at the question how, we're all gonna be like, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well that's something to work on, isn't it? Like that's what or that is what we should do, is work on it.
Yes.
Can I just add to cut me off because of the time, it's also the fact that there's some really strong different disciplinary skills in this room. And we just saw a wonderful piece by Peter Play, an offering, and it would be wonderful to be able to benefit from the insights of the people at NIME who hold some of those different skills and cross them over, tangle them up,
So here, like the three of us started discussing about outreach activities, and I also found that we have someone who's here for the first time in our midst, and he happens to be a jazzer, and the people who know me know that I'm much more of a jazzer than I'm an NIME, so we instantly connected. But the topic that we kind of dwelled on is the fact that outreach activities in the past at NIME have happened. I recall that in 2023, if I remember right, there was a workshop organized in Mexico to get people to to learn the ropes of building new musical instruments, specifically, I believe, with Bella, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong one. Well, I don't think I recall any other. I started following around 2020, so maybe like all the other years before 2020 there was something similar. But I don't recall anything like that other than that particular occurrence. And so we were discussing that if outreach is our goal, then it seems that the most intimidating sort of hurdle from a NIME outsider is the fact that we like our little bubble of technology. So it'd be nice to have primers that can explain our bubble of technology to other people who are not speaking with it. Obviously, it's all natural and obvious to us, and probably the gut feeling that you've had, and I've had, is, well, you know, if you go to ABC and there's so many primers of Python for music or C++ for music, why is it our job to do that? But the thing is that that's really an opportunity for us to do something like this, because we're going to do it the NIME way, and not the ABC way, and not the tutorial on Moodle way, which is ultimately the goal of creating a community. It means that we're going to be the first to introduce those people to those concepts. And so that, you know, we're going to encode our values into those concepts as opposed to the values of ABC or the tutorial on Moodle.
Can I just say, we did have something. I mean, you mentioned that there may have been something in the past. In fact, there was. And do you know what it was called? The NIME primer. But maybe what I would like actually is, I thought about this a few months ago. Oh, what happened to the NIME primer? That was so good. It used to be Michael Lyons and Sid Fells, and they're both sort of moving into different phases of life and maybe not following the conference as closely. Although Michael is definitely still a reviewer. But I emailed Michael about it, and he said, "Oh, it had been kind of adopted by Stefania Serafin, I think, and Dan Overholt, and then don't know what happened to it after that. That was some years ago now, and I don't know what happened to it over that. But I think I was like, I should make a NIME primer. She observed correctly that I was already committed 200% to everything else, and it was completely impossible that I'd be able to run a NIME primer. But you should do it. You should do it. You're the new chair of the NIME primer committee. I think that's what we should boldly. Well done. Here we go.
But I'd also say something like the NIME primer obviously clearly does community building, right? Which goes to another question about, and I think this is something that's been bearing on my mind since Claire's keynote, is around the sort of balancing between the exclusivity that is kind of, you know, product of academia and inclusivity that is needed, especially to continue these practices, which are, you know, otherwise, like, you know, quite obscure anyway. So, I would ask, you know, what parts of exclusivity do we really need to retain, and what parts can be let go of, and then what parts of inclusivity can be launched. Yeah. Mm. And I think, some kind of workshop program would be a beautiful way of growing that community.
It's something we have to think about in the next 6 months and not in the 6 months after that, because once people have set in the time between submissions and the conference production, there is no space for further new ideas. So it's finding NIME primes would be good.
As
Yeah, go
fun
on.
as it is to see someone you volunteer to do something, I would be interested in helping with the time.
There we got 2. You got 2 already. Yeah, and 3, we got Anthony. Yeah, we've got a committee already. Please not me. I've done too much stuff. I'm tired. Yeah, well, there you go. You can sort it out in the dinner break. Get dinners together.
Any other thoughts we want to share? Do we really have 3 minutes left?
Yep.
Yeah, we have 3 minutes left.
Just a small thought that may well have happened at past months as well, but in the area of community, we discussed maybe open mic sessions in a room somewhere where people could get together and just jam. It could be for the whole conference as a jam room, or it could be for certain blocks of time that it's open, or an open mic night, whatever. But, yeah, simple, but
Yeah, not even just for music, like an open mic discussion session could also be a lot of fun.
oh yeah.
For jokes, for example.
Yeah.
Not that way, you got it.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's something that maybe will be launched, not sure how it's to be launched, but launched. So I also spent the last couple of days watching some of the presenters.
Fabio is there.
Struggle to present some really
Do you want to private chat to him and say, do you want to say anything, Fabio?
And I sort of had thought that, we've got the technology now, so maybe the next time we a community-based one, maybe the possibility of capturing by transcripts, so that, the questioners who are also asking questions not in their primary language can struggle less. And the same thing with the presenters as well, so you need to see the transitions. And yeah, that would be something.
That is, just the challenges about language. Yeah.
I would work on lovingly maintaining the artist keynote. I don't know how often that happens.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy that. It's just the kind of practice lecture. I think it sort of shares knowledge in an alternative way and really productive. I would also be in favour of somehow encouraging more ensemble performance within the music track. We talked a little bit about like scratch improv, like matchmaking different NIME musicians to kind of in the spirit of what Sally Jane was talking about. Possible failure, but just kind of seeing the music happen in the moment a little bit more.
I wonder if something like that could be supported by thinking again through what the categories are we ask for with music submissions. Because we previously had an installation track and a music track, and we decided we'd put them into one submission track, but then you could select a drop down for category, and you can have more. You could have ensemble or solo, and that would not necessarily act to discriminate against those, but just allow people to self-identify as doing something which is going there. And when you ask for it, people show up.
Maybe one more question. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. I'm breaking the rules. Question. I mean, comment. Comments.
Yeah, duh, thank you.
Should I come over to the...
Yeah,
why
you're close
not?
enough. And also, Doe was one of the representing the paper chair committee, so.
Yay!
Come around here.
So I was thinking about the keynote, and we had the papers branching out all around, and then the workshops and the music were kind of clustered on the side and couldn't blend in. I was wondering if that, maybe it's a logistical nightmare, but if that could be intertwined with the format where we, instead of having a paper block next to each other, and we have like some musics in between, because I'm someone who gets so tired in one 2-hour session. I wonder if that could actually be, maybe it helps to kind of bring these two tracks together.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's quite common in media arts conferences as well.
Yeah.
Horrible sound.
Yes.
Sorry.
We've got the technology. The mute button exists. I should use it. That was the last comment.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
Andrew's got the last comment.
Okay.
Come around this side of the lectern so I don't have to make the noise again.
Right. Last comment is just, can we please thank Charles and Pia for this amazing conference that we've had.